All right, y'all, we back. We back.
After how many hours?
Yo, so we gonna get this
This is after McDonald's, guys.
after
Some
McDonald's.
pizzas and
We got the itis. We all got the
Sorry.
itis.
Yes, sir.
But it's still beyond us day.
still
weekend,
beyond us day,
beyond
yes.
us weekend. You know what I mean? So we already got Jules, Renal.
Yes, sir.
So now we're gonna get my man Dez's perspective. Like what y'all feel about your brother Dez as far as his impact and beyond. Let's start with Jules, man. Go ahead, Jules.
Man, because I had some.
I know you got the itis now and everything, but
Yeah, Des, man. I just remember when I first went to Kingsborough that I saw Desmond in the bathroom.
oh,
He was washing his hand. I was like, I heard him
Yeah.
singing, and I wanted to battle you. You know when I tried to battle
In the
you
bathroom?
in the bathroom? Remember?
Really?
Yes,
I'm
dude.
about bathroom fights in
Battle,
school.
yo, he was
yo.
like, I was like,
Singing
yo,
battle now.
Like, yo, you was nice. You was like, yo, I'm nicer than you, yo.
I said that?
No, I know you. Yeah, no, I said that to you.
You said it to me.
Yes.
Oh, so I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
yeah.
more like this now.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was being disrespectful like
Yeah,
that.
and then you sang, and I was like, oh
Ordered him in the
man, that dude is
bathroom.
nice. That's the first time I met this.
in the
yeah,
bathroom.
yeah, man, in the bathroom.
Really?
So yes. Yeah. So
I don't remember it. Like
I remember it very clearly.
Yeah.
Cause y'all, I wanted to battle you because it was like I heard you sing. I don't remember when I heard you sing, but I wanted to battle you. I was like, yo,
Yeah, if you was in the
I think I'm
bathroom.
nicer than this guy. All right, but of course I wasn't. But yeah, man, I remember Des then. You know, I don't. What else? I'm trying to remember other stuff about Des. I'm tired right now.
You want to come back to the room?
Yeah, let's go back to me.
memory.
Yeah, so guys. What kind of role? So yeah, what kind of role he played in the group? Like, you know, singing-wise and all that.
Yeah, Des is kind of laid back.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to come back.
Let's go to Renal. We're gonna come right back to you.
Yeah, man, cause yo,
Let me see the impact of Dez in the group. I'll first start from a sonic perspective. Before Dez got in the group, I think the direction that the group was going because of the vocalist just felt a bit more gospel-y, a bit more traditionally gospel. But then when Dez came into the group, because of the heavy R&B background, he started bringing that texture and that sound into the group.
That is so true.
And I feel like we were missing that in order for us to be
so true.
competitive at a contemporary level. And so once he brought that, he also brought a certain kind of energy into the group as well. And you know, he was like, as Andrew said, very laid back and very chill. But also, you know, he had a fun kind of energy. So the rehearsals, you know, they became more of a pleasure, and you know the whole experience, you know, and he became a part of the family and all that, and just the overall camaraderie that, you know, he became a part of. All of those things I felt like enhanced the group, because sometimes it's not even just about how well somebody can sing or can't sing or whatever, but the kind of energy that you bring into a space that also helps to kind of steer that ship in a particular direction. And I felt that, you know, him bringing not only his skills and his talent, but his personality, and also a very different perspective on where we were religiously, you know, at the time. You know, we started opening up our minds into all these different ideas of, well, the Bible says this, the Bible says that, and we're like, okay, he's challenging us, like,
yeah,
but this is good though. I'm questioning things. I don't necessarily agree with this, but this is a great conversation. This is a great debate. And those kinds of things also became a part of the writing. You know, so we started to grow as we kept getting challenged, and we started to develop other ideas and different ways of looking at things. And it also showed up in the music, I feel. So sonically, he made an impact, but also in just in our culture, the culture of Beyond Us began to change, and I thought, you know, for the better.
so come back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, he's just needs to get some.
Yeah, I agree, man. Des, of course, you remind me a lot like Sean. you have the kind of smooth style, and I like that about you.
Showing Stockton.
Yeah, man, I like that, man. The smooth sound, it's really, you know, it brings a different flavor. It brings the groups together, because I felt like there was something missing when it was just me, you know, and Sal. I mean, and
Dez.
oh my God,
Stanley.
I'm about to get
My name is Stanley.
oh my God.
Hi, my name is Stanley.
Yeah.
It's that vegan.
So yeah, man.
It's that veganism.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt like he brought a different style, and that's another reason why, you know, I was kind of, when I saw him in the train, I was like, yo, Des, I want you to be down in the group, because I felt that he has a certain style that would complement the group.
That fits.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, just certain things he says, man, it just sticks with you, man. Like, come on, why?
Yeah, come on,
Dude,
why?
That's classic. Come
I used
on,
to say that when I wanted to see
why?
my wife. I was like, come on, why? So yeah, man. Yeah, Des. Yeah, he's a. I always say he's a funny guy in the group. You know.
Yeah.
You know. And no, I do like that. And yeah, man. He really brings the group together. And yeah, I'm definitely happy about you being here.
Another quick thing about that was, again, I mentioned this in terms of his religious beliefs and him challenging us in different ways, but also just his way of thinking, period. It was just unconventional. You know what I mean? Like, we would be talking about any particular subject, any topic, and we would all be seeing things one way, and he'd be like, but like, what about if we looked at it like this? And I'm like, you tripping, really?
Yeah.
But I see your side though. I get it. And again, those kinds of things train your mind, so that way you're becoming more open, or rather more open-minded, and you're starting to be able to see things from a different perspective. And I think any way that a person can, I guess, develop that helps them to grow, and it's going to show itself in every aspect of your life.
And plus,
So for growth, I'd say that's something that I
and plus,
admire.
I don't know if you remember, but you and Stanley used to battle a lot of times, and you were the one that introduced me to the salad. He was the first one I heard speak about the salad, and of course, you didn't want to hear it, but he was the one that introduced me to it. You were the one, man. So you made me look into it, and I was like, yeah, man.
Okay. That's dope. And let's go to Stanley, man. Brother Stan, what you
Who's
feel about
that?
your brother
Oh,
Dez?
Man, that's my brother.
Desmond
Another brother,
Chance.
man, for sure. Yes, there's no other chance but this chance. Talk about chance. Yeah, but on a real tip, I met Desmond in Kingsborough. It was introduced by another Brian, not Brian Foster over there, but another Brian from Kingsborough introduced me to him, and I think we were singing "Hard to Say Goodbye," and he hit that last part with that Wanye riff, and caught everybody. Like, 'cause you see, the thing is, I never heard Wanye's version.
Yeah.
He was the first one I heard did that, and I was just like, that is so unique. Like, who sings it like that? But he was able to hit the note, like that high note. He had that high voice. I'm like, this dude is nice. This dude is nice. So, and then he was a part of a group. I met Blair and what's the other Wes. And I fell in love with those dudes, man. Like, the three of them were the amazing group, and they were just really cool. They vibed with me. In fact, they wanted me to join their group.
Alright.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Because Blair likes you.
Yeah.
Blair likes your style.
So, I mean, it was like really cool. It's like, yeah, Stan, when you gonna come to rehearsal?
That's dope.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it was really, really cool. And then
Interesting.
it didn't work out like that. But this is the thing. And then ultimately, Andrew said that he's gonna bring Desmond's gonna come out and here to come with the group. And I was like, Desmond from Kingsborough? Yo, really? Like, he's not with his group no more? Like, what's going on? So now I'm like, that's really cool, because Desmond can sing. You know what I mean? So when Desmond came out and started hanging out with us, I like what Renard brought up. Desmond brought a side of him that we didn't know that he had.
Yeah.
This dude is brilliant. He's an intelligent, philosophical debater, and he has a clowning thing about him too. He's funny. He's creative with his jokes. You know, but that's the dynamic that was needed in the group. And ultimately, he's also the looker of the group.
looker.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, Desmond, a lot of the girls, they want to see him. They want to see Shamar Moore. You know what I'm saying? Or Drake, whatever you.
Yeah.
So
Drizzy.
but he's into that. He's into fashion, and that aided us for the things that we were wearing to go in front of different audiences. Desmond picked those things out, and overall, Desmond had a lot to contribute to the group. Period. Whether it's philosophical, whether it's spiritual, whether it was the comic part of it. Believe it or not, if you're taking a picture with him, it's gonna be a number 2 behind your head. Desmond is that. Desmond is that dude. He'll put those extra ears behind your head. He always figure out a way to do that to somebody. I'm like, Desmond, did you do this finger? Let's do another picture. You know what I mean? But he adds that dynamic in there. But yet he can sing. He can sing, and if we're gonna do a song, you know Desmond gotta have a lead. That's no negotiation. He will have a lead because that voice is needed. It can't just be there for harmony. It has to be there for a lead. So his voice was guaranteed a lead spot. His style. He actually owned that. Like, I know you gotta give Desmond a lead. It can't be a song with just me and Andrew, or me and Renaud.
Nope.
Desmond gotta be a lead somewhere. You know what I mean? And generally, he starts the song off. Generally, he starts the song off. So Desmond really is a major part of Beyond Us. Man, look at his contribution. He's involved with the pictures. He made sure that we got the right pictures together, put the stuff together. He always, I think, with Desmond, he had a vision of the group that he took personally. He took it personally. He took it home with him, and he brings it back. He always come on time. He always was there in the music rooms. He was very dedicated.
Yep.
I don't know if we noticed that about him. I
Well,
think
it would be
it
hard to notice if I'm late, so like I know he came on time.
he was there like all the time. Like, in fact, if I'm correct, he's there before everybody.
That part is true.
Like, you know, and it was just like Desmond was always in the room. Like, which room was Desmond in?
Finding ways to make us look good, man.
But that's the thing.
Clothes
But
and
that's the
whatever.
dedication he was. And I think I want to look past the idea that he was just there, but he was dedicated. He was dedicated in being there, making sure we rehearsed, making sure, and he always gave 110%.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. And he gave 110. He never faltered in any rehearsals. He gave his, if he didn't like something, he'd tell you, Stan, you know, and I'm sorry, we ain't doing that note. He'll tell you, you know, and he don't care if you hurt your feelings. He'll tell you. You know what I mean? But the point is, he cared about the group enough to do that.
Yeah.
And I think
he wasn't nasty with it.
No, he was respectful, but he was real.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what he was real about it. And that's the thing. No matter what we have, no matter what beef we may have, at the end of the day, he's always open to making things right and to make the group right. I mean, he was a true brother in the group. A true brother, he a true dedicated brother in the group.
Yeah.
If Desmond was not here, we would not have Beyond Us.
No, that's deep.
Straight up.
That's deep right there, bro. That's deep right there. All right, Des. Hey, you heard your brothers. Hey, what do you want to say, man?
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all of the, you know, the perspectives from everybody. You know how I feel about you guys. So, you know, it's good to hear those perspectives. Sometimes you don't even notice things about yourself. People bring it up.
Right.
They got a different angle on it, you know.
Right.
That's
So
your flowers, man.
Yeah.
man. So you know, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it, and I had a great time in the group, man. It was a good time. It's funny because my other group, I felt like they were the group, but we went further. Like that group,
Right.
we went out and we did stuff, and I felt that was going to be the group, not because they were more talented. It was just because, you know, we came out of high school. We had this thing like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go in the R&B world. I'm getting with a group now. I'm getting in the gospel group. I didn't think about it the same way with the R&B group, because R&B group is more egotistical. So we're gonna be
And it's
famous.
mainstream.
Gospel is more like, you're doing a ministry, like I said before, it's bigger than you. R&B, you're bigger than the you're the artist. So anyway, when I came to this group, the difference between this group and that group is not only the content what we sung about, but the connection that we had. Because the other group, they're cool and everything, but like I said, we brothers. So and we here 20 years later.
Yeah.
Amen.
I mean, with them 20 years later, they cool, but we had a different bond. So,
Amen.
and I think it was because of that mindset. Because we coming in the gospel, we're coming in it, singing about God instead of singing about girls and all that stuff. So it's a different kind of it's a different kind of approach to it and a mentality. So, man, it was great. It was great times with you guys. Great times. I appreciate it.
Amen. And the thing about it is, can I ask questions?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, and because I noticed that you really cared about the group like you did. I mean, because it's my opinion that you went home with this stuff, because you always did things in the background for us, even while we're not looking. What made you love us that much? Like, what vision did you have about us so you can bring it home and put in the kind of work that you would put in? I know Renal always did that.
Yeah, Renal.
Because he was putting in the music. But I think because his natural talent. But you brought we all know you sing, but you was doing other things for the group. You was like coming up with plans, making calls, seeing if we can get appointments to go to places to sing. You were doing stuff like that. You was really into this.
Trying to get his business card. And all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was
All that
just
stuff.
honestly, it was natural because I if it was the setting up the shows, and sometimes when I would call, sometimes they would call me and I would just be the default spokesperson at that time. So, and obviously with the visuals, with the the Photoshop, I was into Photoshop anyway.
Yeah.
And I wanted us to at least on the advertising side of it to make us,
But you wasn't even distracted by the other things of life. It was about Beyond Us. Beyond Us was there. It was one of the top of your list.
No, it definitely was. Yeah, when I'm in a group, I'm gonna go 100%. So that's what it was.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So hey, listen. Actually, you gotta bring up Winston eventually in this.
We definitely will.
Well, we gotta go to my brother Stanley. Gotta go to my brother Stanley, man. What do y'all feel about brother Stan? We got a special guest too right here, my brother Brian. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Let's let you know we got Brian in the background. The homie.
What's going on?
You know what I'm saying? We love you, brother. We love you, brother. You know what I'm
He
saying?
played a big part of the Beyond Us group, believe it or not.
No doubt. We're gonna bring that up too. But yeah, we're gonna get on Mr. Riff himself,
Yeah.
Stanley, man. Let's go with Jules. What do you feel about your
Let's start
brother?
with Desmond.
Oh, you wanna start with Dez?
Go in this
Reverse
direction?
this time.
All right, let's go. Yeah.
All right. Well, the special part of any group is that we have these different personalities, and in this group, we spoke about the different roles that everybody played. Obviously, we have very different personalities that actually mesh. So that's why we had the longevity. It's terms of being friends, and that's bigger than the music. It's bigger than that stuff. So Stan, vocally, he had this flair to him. He brings a style that's different from all three of us, right? He's the jazzy guy. He wants to do the dissonant notes. He wants to do those things, and that's the seasoning. So we can set it up in a certain way. Like he said, I'm gonna set it up with a little bit of smooth. I want to bring it in that way. We got Andrew with his own different texture, smooth as well, and Renald has another element to it. Stan is the flair. He's the finisher. This is the guy who comes in the group. When everything's been set up, he's the one he's the clincher.
He brings it home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's vocally, that's what Stan was about. And Stan he's fearless.
Yes.
You never see him shy away from a challenge.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's one of the things, and I think he brings that into the group, because when we're feeling nervous about a crowd or a show, he's like the opposite. Yo, it's gonna be crowded. Yo, it's mad people. We're like, yo, it's mad people. He's like, but that's the reason. So that's a confidence. That right there, when you have somebody that's feeling like that, you're like, wow, it rubs off on you a little bit. So you're like, all right, we're gonna ride with that energy. That energy is the better one, because and I think that helped. that helped with us going on 106 in Park. Even though we had our nervousness, we still had someone who was there that was hype about it, like to the point where we're like, yo, we're gonna kill this. And we went up there, we did our thing. We sung in front of millions of people, multiple countries, and we did our thing. How many groups could say that they sung on national TV? As good as they were, right? So, and you know what? That's what I think. I think vocally he brings that, and he brings a flair, he brings the confidence, and you know he's a great guy, great teacher, very smart, intelligent. He can probably break down. If he learns something, he can teach it just as good as anybody can teach it. He knows how to bring it down to a certain level and bring it and get these analogies set up where it's really, really bite-sized, you know, portions so everybody can understand. That's another part of him. That's another skill that he had. And of course, because of his philosophical side to him, me and him are gonna always debate. It don't matter what the subject matter is. It's gonna be sports, religion. It's gonna be everything. And that was a flair to the group as well. So we always had that, and I appreciate that, man. You had he listen. Everybody has their own little elements. That was his element in the group. That was a special part. Yep.
All right, let's go to Mano.
All right. I think one of the more outstanding aspects of this brother right here was, at least for me, was trust and confidence. And I'm not referring to his confidence in himself. Des already touched on that. Oh, my bad. Yeah. So Des already touched on that. He definitely is confident in his abilities. But what it was that I fully trusted Stanley. I looked at him as an elder. I mean, not just because he is older.
Yo, so that too.
No, but really, like you also have this kind of presence. I mean, it comes through because it's this interesting dichotomy because you're also very humble, and I mean, some might not say that about you. No, but you have this humility about you where it's like, I'm willing to listen to the argument. I'm willing to take it in, absorb it, and you know what? If what you're saying makes sense, I'll make a change. And that's something that I've always seen with Stanley. But back to the trust aspect, musically, if I had some question, if I had something like, I don't know where I want to go with this, yo, Stan, what do you think? And he would have something to say. And I would actually trust that this guy knows what he's talking about because I looked at him as somebody who, he understood music. I'm like, man, I'm trying to find this progression. Okay, so Renard, what you might want to do is, you might want to go ahead and use this bass line right here, then switch into a pivot chord, and then go into this. And you know, he had all the theoretical stuff. You know, music theory was a thing that I don't know if you just studied that or whatever it is, but you had a lot to offer the group in that way. So even if you weren't the one who happened to be playing the piano for a particular song, leaning on the understanding that you have for certain things. When it comes to even writing certain songs, again, as I mentioned, you all played certain roles in how these songs came about. But I often trusted Stanley. If he said, this is how something would be best or better structured, I'm like, I'm gonna listen. This is how you might want to attack this Ronald, I'm gonna listen. If we're gonna step on stage and Stanley's not gonna be there, I'm like, yo, I don't know how I feel about this right now, man. What's going on? We need that guy who's gonna come in and, oh! And I'm like, where is that hole? Where is that? We need that. You know, and Stanley, he didn't care.
Do that again?
Stanley did not care. We could be in a library. He's gonna bust out the biggest, loudest, longest riff. We could be standing next to Wanye. He's gonna be like, Wanye ain't gonna outdo me. I'm gonna do what I do best. So Stanley just brought that confidence that made us feel like, yo, we got our due. We gonna go into battle. We got that guy right here.
Yeah.
And so that trust and that confidence is something that I felt when you were on the stage with us. So yeah, that's one of the things we added to the group. But also, again, to piggyback off what Desmond was saying, you had a way of breaking things down in bite-sized increments that made it just more soluble. I'm like, okay, I get this. I understand that. That's cool. I didn't look at it that way before. So again, you also added this element in terms of your ability to help us all grow in different ways. Because I noticed that sometimes you would speak to Andrew a certain way.
Yeah.
You would speak to me in a different way. You speak to Des in a different way. It's as if you keyed into each person and said, okay, I think I see what Andrew needs, so I'm gonna go hard at Andrew. And you guys are, butting heads, but it's also drawing certain things out of him. You're talking to me a certain way, like, I think Bernard might need to, get more confidence, or he might need to, whatever it is. Like, you key into that thing, and you're speaking to me in the language I understand. And you're drawing certain things out of me. The same with Des. So I think that's another role that you played in, like, okay, I'm going to draw the best out of each person. And I don't even know if it was intentional in you doing that, but it was just something that happened as a result of the role you played in the group. Yeah.
Well, man, so much to talk about with Stanley. This guy is my brother, man. We go way back, and I just want to thank him so much, man, for just always looking out for me. I know that I said me and him was butting heads, but even though we were, a lot of times he let me understand. He didn't just get loud at me and just whatever it is and whatever. And he made it simple so I can understand it. And I respected him for that, because then I was like, I didn't see it that way. I didn't understand, and I just want to thank him for that. But I mean, Stanley has been my big brother, basically. Like I have a brother, but this guy is like my own brother. And I remember just hearing him sing at different spots in Apollo Theater and all that stuff. But this guy was basically like, I was a big fan of his. I mean, I used to go with him all the time to open mics, man. I was like, man, this cat is nice. I never told him that, man, but I really saw him as...
He didn't need to hear that.
Yeah, I really saw him as he already made it.
Right.
When I heard him sing Danny Hathaway's song, I was like, wow, this guy already made it. And he's very confident, in everything he does. When you go anywhere, like when I say, everybody knows he's there, because this guy is not afraid. He's not afraid to tell you whatever, or he's not afraid to sing whatever notes. And it doesn't matter if he has an off day, my voice, whatever, he's still gonna sing.
He's going.
It don't matter. So yeah, man, Stanley definitely made a big difference in the group. Just giving us confidence, giving me confidence. Just believing in myself and just helping me to understand things, how to approach certain, instead of just coming out and just blasting or whatever it is or whatever my feelings are, but slow down and listen and understand first before you respond. So yeah, it's this brother has been a lot in this group, and like when I say, he's a finisher. When it comes to songs, man, Stanley used to just kill it, man. And we used to look forward just to hearing him riff. And just want to thank God for this brother, and I'll follow this brother anywhere. Seriously. And I just want to thank him for helping me as far as religiously to understand certain things, certain scriptures, and certain just understanding things. He knows how to explain stuff. He's a very good teacher. A very good teacher. So that's all I gotta say. Love you, brother.
Love you.
Yeah, I mean, Stanley's that dude held down on Apollo with a hat tipped to the side.
Oh, you remember that?
And a muscle shirt
you
zipped all the way down here,
you
showing
remember
off
that?
his taco meat.
You remember that? That dude.
That's this dude right here.
Where's the
That's what
visual?
Stanley
You got
That-
pictures? You getting pictures of that?
The kid had them.
This
man.
dude thought he was like he
Stanley's the
made
kind
it.
of guy
Like,
who,
who does this guy think he is?
if he hears a boo, he'll break from whatever mode he is in the song, do the biggest, longest
Oh,
riff,
you remember that,
and turn
right?
that boo into a
You
yeah!
remember that,
Get
right?
back to the song. If he hears yet
Wow.
another boo, biggest, hardest, loudest
I
riff
remember
ever,
that.
to turn that one boo into a yo, this guy's nice.
I remember
That's what
that.
this guy does.
Wow.
At will.
Praise God.
I remember that. Remember all the things for bringing that back.
I remember that too.
That dude thought he
I
was.
was like, oh,
He
he
got the
stopped
hats.
And the muscle shirt zipped all the way down to his belly button.
That was the stupidest idea I've ever
Yeah.
I don't know what you were thinking about.
That was the most dumbest. A zoot suit and the muscle shirt. It was so
That was yo. That was.